dun anime review. Ding! This is the review of Spectre. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hidden in plain sight, spirits known as yokai inhabit the world. While most are benign, a certain subsect threatens the tedious peace between yokai and humanity. Ever since she agreed to become their god of wisdom, Koaka Iwanana has served as a mediator between the two realms, resolving any supernatural problem that comes her way. At a local hospital, Kokona approaches Kororu Sakawara, a university student whose long-term relationship ended with an unfortunate breakup. Kotaro harbors feelings for him and suspects that something supernatural lurks within his harmless appearance. So she asks Kotaro for his assistance in helping out yokai. 2 years later, news of an idol who accidentally was crushed to death by a steel being floods the press. However, months later, sightings begin to tell of a faceless woman who wielded a steel beam. As in the case for any supernatural problem, Kyoto and her partner set out to stop the spirit from wreaking havoc. But this case may prove to be far more sinister and personal than they ever could thought. This anime has about 12 episodes. It premiered January 12, 2020 to March 29, 2020. It is premiered in the winter premiere of anime. It's based off a manga series, and it's mystery, demon, supernatural, romance, and shonen. Each episode is 20 minutes per episode, and it's rated R plus 17 plus for violence and profanity. I feel like one aspect I took away from this interesting series of having the realm between yokai and humans interact and interlope with each other, and I feel like the story does just that by explaining that, being short, simple, to the point, about a girl who's mysteriously chosen to be their god of wisdom, but without a cost, as something that personally belongs to her, without giving too much away. And then she meets a college student who unfortunately goes through a breakup, and then suddenly she has this strange draw to him despite his inner demeanor and his appearance, and something that's lurking beneath the surface between him and why he had a horrible breakup. But other than that, and then you fast forward 2 years later to an idol who got crushed to death by a metal beam. I thought that was very strange within itself, but overall the concept was really well delivered. I like the storyline did just that, and like the mystery of the yokai in the human world and what lies between that and the section of yokai that don't want nothing to do with the human world, and they want to destroy and wreak havoc with it and cause humans misery and pain. That sounds joy for any setting in my case. And also, you're adding comedy, drama, romance, and supernatural. It's all really a weird mix of everything meshed together in this series, but it works well. Especially, I think more interesting things happen more in episode 2. I'm not giving anything away because, like I said, I don't do spoilers on this channel, so I'll keep it brief. I feel like overall, with the anime being around like 24 minutes each, it does a good way of fleshing out each episode, what's the point of the first episode, and so on and so on. And then the second episode, you really get more into the nitty gritty of it. And then episode 3, as my notion, time episode 3 happens, everything just goes up in the air. And I feel like that's where the hardcore message and the writers were trying to glue the audience in. And frankly, I think they did a wonderful job, especially with these two entities together that cover different spectrums of life. The girl that was chosen to be the guy, and the guy who obviously sucks for him, university student, had a bad breakup, but there's more to him that meets the eye. I feel like, in the whole phrase, don't judge a book by cover, I think it does really well. And then also with the yokai element of Japanese folklore and the Japanese myths of these creatures, there's always something live beneath them. I feel like if you dive more into the yokai, definitely like folklore aspect of it, you'll enjoy it. And I feel like sometimes when you mix the two between that, from fantasy to reality to the spirit world, it tends to either not work well, or it tends to balance each other out in a way where it can, tell a great story. And in the story, there's always a truth and a lie with anything. I think that has to do with the whole creation of the story within itself. I feel like when you're watching this series, you're always paying attention to every scene, every detail, to make sure you don't miss anything. And I feel like the voice actors do a good job of bringing these characters forth in this series, especially with their relationship, and you build up with other characters and development between the two that are completely different points of the spectrum in my belief. And I feel like the way this environment plays out from the transition to one scene to other is played out very well. The dialogue flows very nicely. The songs are very interesting. I think when you look into this, you you kind of feel like you know what to get into just by the cover art and then, but when you really like dive down to the nitty gritty of it, you don't know what to expect at all. And that's what I love about it. I was literally trying to figure out like my detective skills, trying to figure out, you know, the case of the truth that seems more irrelevant than it is, especially with the idol that tragically has died, and then this lovely yokai that kind of resembles her has no face and a bloody beam that kind of does the same instinct of her death. I thought was very played out in my case, and besides her being overly done with big boobs, overall I think the fan service, don't think there was any, not that I saw, but you know, it's okay. But I'm glad there isn't any fan service. I think it just focused generally on the relationship and the romance that are in between the two main characters, I believe. And I think also along those lines of, you know, solving a mystery between yokai and human, trying to keep that balance, or if you don't, the whole world ends up in chaos. And we love that. I feel like, I think also with the yokai making their appearance here and there in certain episodes and them getting their side story of it, whether they want peace or they want chaos, that's also another way to add another element to the story to make it play out really well, including the other characters that surrounds this lovely colorful cast and their interesting personality, to say the least. I feel like this is more for a mature audience. I feel like and no younger kid should ever be watching this if they are found watches. I'm concerned for their well-beings. If you're an older group, that's perfect, because I feel like if you go from this straight from the anime to the manga, this does have a second season, which I'm happy for, and the manga, so I think you'll really enjoy it, especially love that type of like drama, like supernatural type feel to it. I feel like you'll really be intrigued with this anime. They did a good job with the color scheme and the environments and the colors and the cast. I feel like it will draw you into the last bit of it, especially with it being, you know, like 12 episodes, very short, but it does well to like flesh out all the characters, give enough good backstory to where you know and you relate to this character in some sort of way, even though you actually relate to a god of wisdom in that case, but you can relate to, you know, whatever these characters are going through and the obstacles that they face along the way. But overall, I still think it's a good anime to sink your fangs into and sink in and really sit in for like a nice night of watching this in, well, one sitting, if that case may be. Overall, it did keep me on the edge of my seat. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I did love the whole arc of the story that was being told in front of me, especially with the yokai, because I love to learn more about Japanese folklore and the yokai and more of their history. And I think this anime did a fun interpretation of that, and I think it did a good way of drawing that mystery supernatural aspect with a little bit of detective case to it, and I think it did a good job with portraying each of the themes and which they're trying to portray to the audience, and overall they did a fantastic job of creating an anime that blends two world or unknown world and blending into the human world, and seeing how it played out and see if it can replicably and like coexist together peacefully or not, or try the best that we may be in any case. Thanks for tuning in this review. I hope you guys loved it. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to comment down below in the comment section what anime you want me to review next. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos and more content. And I will see you soon. Until then, bye!